IVM.
Okay, welcome to the show. This was a good segue. By the way, I am speaking to Sangeet. Sangeet is the founder / co-founder of Superkicks. Welcome to the show, Sangeet. I am super stoked to have you over here, and he is wearing amazing shoes. What are you wearing right now?
I'm wearing the Nike Presto that released
Tomorrow.
Yeah. No, not tomorrow, man. But yeah, this is the Nike Presto, the Hello Kitty version.
Yeah.
I think it's a very cool colorway. So I picked it up the day it came to us.
It's a very cool colorway. It looks super cute.
Yeah.
And also I think Prestos are one of those silhouettes which are not famous and which are like not out there, and people don't wear it as much.
Possibly, yes. Yeah. You're partially right. Though Prestos are very famous in other Asian countries, in Japan it's very, very famous because
They walk a lot.
They walk a lot. Plus, there's a cultural aspect as well. In Japan, when you go to someone's house, like in India, you need to take off your shoes. And Presto is like a sock.
Yeah.
So you don't need to untie your laces and everything. So there's a cultural aspect. That's why Presto works in Japan. Something like Instapump Reebok is very popular in Japan. So it's so cool that culture also plays an important role as to what sells where. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, right? Because speaking of culture, what really, according to you, would work well in India?
From a shoe point of view?
From a shoe point of view, in terms of like...
I think we cracked that long time ago. I think Mojris
were like literally the coolest ones, right?
So yeah. But now a contemporary counterpart would be something like a Crocs or something like in the south part of India, still people do not wear a lot of shoes. No matter which strata of the society you belong to, they still prefer wearing sandals or slides. So I think the contemporary side of things would be easy slides or foam runners or Crocs. These are something that actually, from a cultural point of view, works in India.
It's pretty interesting, right? Because I have seen a lot of people wearing those slides, even though they are like super expensive, even though they look a bit out of the box. Yeah, and speaking about culture, one thing which I think I was speaking to you just when we met, like how the entire hype culture is going on right now, and how people, for example, Prestos, for example, how people... Because if I were a consumer and if I were somebody who was into hype, and if this was, say, a Jordan 4 with a retro, whatever launch it was, I would literally go and I would know that this would be either in a raffle or it would have been sold out by the time that you're wearing this right
Pretty
now.
Much, yes.
But right now, if I'm assuming this right, it's going to be on the store for the next couple of days, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, the Prestos.
Yes. So why does that happen? Like, because... It's pretty interesting because I think we are so in tune with the idea of wearing only the hyped things rather than like expressing what we believe is cool.
Yeah.
And that is what like sneaker culture is for me, because I think I have, if I don't, I'm not bragging about it, but because of Nike and because of I have been collecting shoes in the last 5 years now, I have around 110 pairs right now. And in those 110 pairs, I don't have more than like 5 or 6 hype shoes, because all the shoes which I'm wearing are just something which I really found cool.
Yeah.
And if I go out there and if I talk about it, or like people, the first question that people ask me is like, okay, do you have any kind of like collabs? Do you have any Travis collabs? Do you have any like Eminem or like this thing collabs or like whatever? Eminem is like way over.
Eminem is
the right people.
But yeah,
but yeah, exactly. So I was talking about it, and then why haven't we reached to a point where we can actually wear Hello Kitties and like just like really rule it walking on the road?
So I think the culture, as far as I understand, whatever I've observed, it works in a cycle. Now, by that I mean there was a time where personal choice or whatever you think looks good on you is what you will end up buying was the thing. Was the in thing, was okay, this is my personal choice. That particular superstar colorway is what I would want to go for. Maybe the other collab version of it is something that you would like, and that's why you ended up picking it up. Not because it's hyped. The reason was not hype. At that point in time, there was that part of the circle where that was the factor which governed what would you end up buying. And then slowly, sadly, of course, with the fact that there is social media now, and social media aggravates and pushes the agenda of hype, and of course the brands also run on that bandwagon, then you, in the last say 6 to 8 years, you have started seeing a lot of people running behind that particular aspect of it, which is the hype. But I know for a fact, or I feel that there will be a time in the next 5, 10 odd years where again will come back, that people will start choosing their shoes according to their personal choice, not because of the hype. It will come back because this will become saturated. The fact that I want to run behind all the Jordans or all the hype, all the Yeezys of the world, that will start fading away.
Isn't it getting saturated right now? Sorry to cut you.
In some places in the world, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And some brands are realizing that already. Like New Balance is changing its course of how they're releasing their products slowly, steadily, and making certain GR products something which is making GR products desirable, where people, and making it in abundance so everybody has it.
Got it.
So New Balance has sort of figured that out, and I think other brands will also follow suit. But it's happening. It's happening. But that saturation is almost there. But in my head, it doesn't matter what the reason for you to enter the culture would be. If it's maybe a really cool shoe that you saw in a store without any context of hype or not hype, that made you enter the culture, or that made you get into understanding what sneakers are all about, or whether it was the hype. The good thing is that now you're in it, right? Even if you have one Converse shoe or you have multiple 110 shoes, and even if none of them are hype, you're in it. If you're in it, then you will tend to discover more. Right? Like as soon as I stepped into this office, by the way, beautiful office. As soon as I entered this office, 2-3 people told me that, okay, this is the new thing that dropped in, and this is the cool thing that you guys posted about on Instagram, be it the M&M pack or be it the Presto pack. It's coming from a personal choice. They saw that particular thing and they were attracted towards that. No matter what the reason is, the good thing is that you're in it. And see, at the end of the day, Superkicks or our brand, for that matter, sneaker culture or streetwear, they are not changing with the world. We're not doing anything which is, oh my God, if you do this or if you're part of it, then we are changing the world or something like that. But where it works at is at an individual level. While you're being a part of the community, it gives you a sense of confidence at an individual level. And that's what I feel interesting about this culture. Individually, you will start feeling more confident once you wear these kind of shoes. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Like, people will notice you. You're walking in the airport, people will be noticing you, and you see it from your side of it. Oh yeah,
and
people notice me. That
the
nod and that subtle nod.
Yeah.
These are the things that make you part of the community. There's no application to be a part of this community.
Yeah,
this is what it is.
And it's like, for me, it's just self-expression in the most truest form. Right?
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like, okay, for me, my favorite silhouette would be always like Air Max 1s.
Okay.
I mean, like, okay, like I really like the fact that they were one of the first running shoes, and they were the first shoes with those air pockets, the air bubble.
Yeah.
And I feel that there is some connection with the brand for me, and how they basically changed the entire shoe. And I love the legacy about it.
Obviously.
And that's why I really like the fact that, okay, that's why I want to go and cop out different Air Maxes and so on and so forth. So for me, it's that. But at the same time, like, there's always a different part of the society which just kinds of like collects things, and like then there's like resellers and stuff and all these things. But yeah, I think as an industry, streetwear culture, I mean, as a culture, the streetwear culture is just about like evolving and getting matured, where people are just trying to find out what they really like and what they don't.
It's very exciting times right now. I feel,
which phase this is like? This is like the pre-mature phase of like...
I would say that this is early adopters being very excited about brands launching certain shoes in India. Stores like Superkicks and Maison, which being present in India, that just validates their passion for sneakers, because they always wanted a space where they could convene and meet and talk to people, and that's happening. So it's very exciting times, but it's at a nascent stage, I would say. Still at a nascent stage, though we are accelerating exponentially, not only from the community growth point of view, but also from numbers point of view. I'm lucky that way, that I'm part of that journey and I've contributed to it in a certain way. But very exciting times ahead, because I don't see a reason why in the next 1 or 2 years more brands will start investing in India, more number of products you will see, better kind of products you will see in India. And there will really be, I mean, the brands themselves would want to do a lot more in India themselves.
But they're doing it right now.
Adidas is doing it. I see Adidas being very, very active in sneaker streetwear scene. Of course, when I talk about Adidas, Nike, and all of these brands, they of course have the sneaker side of things, and then they have their fitness side of things and sports inspired side of things. Nike does a lot in the fitness and sports side, not so much in the sneaker side yet. But I think that will change.
Yeah, and when they come in, like, I think they are going to come back in like all guns blazing.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Yeah. Because whatever they're doing with, I think it's Rise now. Anand Oja's
Camp Rise.
Camp Rise. I think they are doing a phenomenal job.
They are.
But again, I was in the Nike members event. And I think whatever they did with the Boomerang was amazing. I think we are the ones, Unlock is one who's actually imitating the same thing. And thankfully Nike is actually collaborating with us and doing this and giving us the t-shirts.
Nice.
So it's a great collaboration. But one thing which I noticed, that if I can draw a parallel, it's even these brands, which are the global leaders, and brands like mine and brands like yours, which are like up there, are still trying to figure out and like form a community of very strong followers. I won't say followers, but members. And why do you think that strong community is important in this phase of whatever the culture we are in?
So I feel any other phase, if you try to build a community and not at the beginning, it will be tougher by every year. So it's at an initial stage. It's at an initial stage. Basically, we are toddlers in this community. Like literally toddlers, you can make them learn or behave in a certain way at an early stage, and then they adapt it for the rest of the. It's the same logic. You need to be careful with the sense and sensibilities of your particular community. You need to adhere to what these guys want, how are they talking back, what kind of DMs that you're getting, what kind of comments that you're getting. And you need to address certain scenarios. Like there has to be, of course, in the last 4 years I've seen, I mean, initially when we used to drop, I remember in 2020, 2019, when we used to drop certain hype shoes and everything. And of course, they are very limited in nature, and the demand for them is 100x, 10,000x, in fact, at times, as compared to the number of shoes that we get. And it's all allocated. We used to get a lot of hate comments and everything as to why have I not got this shoe? I've been trying to get shoes from you since the past 10 drops and stuff like that. But now, not so much. There's a reason behind it, because the community themselves have also evolved and they've understood that there is a supply versus demand and everything. It's not that certain kind of shoes you will not get easily, and raffle is also a mechanism which is as fair as possible, as compared to first come first serve. But still, there also your chances are very slim. It's unfortunate. It is how it is. What it is right now, the demand versus supply. That's from up top. Brands do that. We have no say in that.
This is interesting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we always wonder why do they do that, but again, I guess it's like
but it's everywhere. It's universal. But it's just that other places in Europe and US, they may not get as much hate as we are, but not anymore actually. But that takes time. That evolution has happened now. I think we are in a comfortable space where we have mutual respect for each other, and that's beautiful. So
and it's because of the community
that's because of the community. And you, as a brand, my aim is to keep on meeting them, figuring out ways to call the community, meet them via events or via meetups and stuff like that, which we tend to do it. Of course, we couldn't do it during COVID, but now we have started back. We've done events, 3 events since the last 6 months.
I think there was one which was in Bangalore, which I just about missed. I think you had it in one of those malls, I think.
In the mall in Bangalore?
You were doing like a giveaway. Omran was there, and he was like, which one was it? Because
it was a Johnny Walker event, I think.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
But again, like these events really help in making sure that the community is like sticking around, and like there are certain perks for the participants, and you have people who you know are going to be. It's more about like retaining the consumers that you have rather than like acquiring a lot more consumers, because that is a different ballgame altogether. And it's way more expensive, to be honest.
And I'm happy just retaining and keeping the customers who have been with us since years happy. That's more important to me than acquiring new customers, actually, in my head.
Yeah, but like same for me. I think that really matters a lot more because it's so you evolve as and when the consumers are evolving also.
Yeah.
Because they are the eyes and ears of the brand, and because they always are like so, and because they have been like with you for the longest time, they say the things that you need to hear, not want to hear, and that is the best way to go about it.
Exactly.
And that has really helped.
Exactly.
But with keeping that in mind, the growth that you've had in the last 4 years. 4 years?
4 years.
4 years. First of all, Instagram page, 260,000 followers.
Yes.
That's crazy. You have 4 branches, which is in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and Guwahati.
Yes, Guwahati.
Mumbai, I understand.
Okay.
Bangalore has to be.
Okay.
Delhi, of course, high payers.
Sure.
Why Guwahati? Like it's such a genuine question.
Yeah, people have asked me this question since last 4 months, since the time we opened up. In fact, this was very funny. I was in Guwahati for the Guwahati launch, and I met a bunch of the people from the community. They themselves asking, "Sir, why have you opened?" And I was like, "Why? Be happy. I just opened up in your city. Be happy. Buy some Jordans."
I haven't been there, but from whatever I've heard, that side of the country is amazingly beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and
100%.
I mean, like the sport culture is amazing.
Yes.
Everything is amazing.
Yes.
But at the same time, for a sneaker store to open up in that part, which is not that exposed, how are you planning? Because are you seeing something that we are not seeing in terms of like different brands or smaller brands, or like is there something that from your database you have realized that Acha, this is going to like really work in the future?
So it's a mix of both. What you rightly pointed out, there is the data that we have that backs up the fact that we should be in Guwahati, Assam particularly, but within Assam, Guwahati made more sense. It's the gateway to Northeast as well. So data, of course, backed it up because we used to get a lot of orders from Guwahati.
Wow.
In fact, Guwahati normally features in our top 10 cities where we get maximum orders in a month. That was one. But that was not enough. I mean, there are 9 other cities which comes in our top 10. That shouldn't be the only criteria. The other thing, you actually talked about 2 points out of the other 3 points that I had in mind why we opened up Guwahati. One is, of course, sports culture is there. It's brilliant out there. Secondly, it's there is money. There is money in that region. When we think that cash-rich cities, we think of course, Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, Chennai. But Guwahati is at par. There is a spending power there. There's a high spending power there among people. These are the functional aspect of it. But at the end of the day, we take our decisions as per, of course, what the city, the capacity of city is, whether they can afford to buy these kind of sneakers and everything, and there is a match there. But also there should be a prevailing culture there. Now, when it comes to sneakers, there are certain pillars, and there are bigger sneaker culture is a subset of other cultures, bigger cultures like basketball, hip hop, skateboarding, and music in general. So you and sports, like a lot of people buy Adidas Special collection or Gazelle or Stan Smith or Samba because they have been into football and running since years. And their father has been, their forefather has been, and now the younger generation.
And they were the ones who were wearing it.
Yeah. That culture is also very strong in Guwahati. And when we did our research, we met the skateboarding community out there.
Is it big? Because
it's quite big. It's quite big. For a city as compared to Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi at least, which is not as accessible, they are big. They are very big. Secondly, fashion. Oh my God. I was put to shame when I saw how these guys were dressing up. They were killing it.
Says the person's wearing a Babe t-shirt right now.
No, it's not about the brand. It's not about the brand. It's
but how they carry themselves.
Carry it.
They are so beautiful. I mean, like whatever they wear, they look amazing.
Yeah. So people in Guwahati, they dress up really, really well. And I didn't know that. Till I went there. And I'm like, oh my God, these people dress so well. So it's a fashion forward city as well, I would say. These are the other factors why we felt as a team that we should be present in Guwahati in some capacity. Now that some capacity is an asterisk because our Guwahati store, actually not a lot of people know that, but Guwahati store is a pop-up.
Okay.
It's a 6 months pop-up.
Okay.
So
that's smart.
Out of which 3 months is over now.
Okay.
Another 3 more months. But with an extension, I mean, we are happy and if everything goes well, because it was a gamble for us.
Got it.
You started off well by asking why, and that why was there in the back of my head as well. So it's still sort of lingering on as to whether it'll succeed or not, but so far it's done really well. So there is a possibility we just remove the pop-up out of our store name and just keep it a permanent thing. There is a possibility.
And pretty interesting, right? Even if it doesn't work out, that, okay, you're like, we were here first.
Yeah.
And we know what the culture is like, and we can always come back and like just figure things out or start from wherever we left.
Exactly. But I hope we don't leave.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you won't, because I think people like me who travel to only like certain cities a lot more kind of underestimate different parts of the country.
Yeah.
Because Hyderabad, for that matter, not even Hyderabad, Nagpur.
Yeah.
Nagpur is like one of the biggest spenders which I've seen, and like the kind of like, and even Satara, which I was like coming in from Goa, the kind of industries that they have, every single thing. I mean, like the per capita wealth that people have over there because of the industry and the land and the different parts that the land provides.
Yeah.
The money is crazy.
Yeah.
And you just want to educate the people over there.
Exactly.
And once you start educating the people, I think it won't be too difficult to sell something.
True.
Or to create a culture out of it.
True. So, good example of Satara, that reminds me, I'm from Jaipur, by the way. So, my family's from Jaipur. My family's still in Jaipur. It's just me and my wife shifted to Bombay because of Superkicks. But where I am from, I mean, you would imagine in Rajasthan, Jaipur, Jodhpur, or maybe Kota being cash-rich cities and having a good spending power. But the top one is actually this city called Ganganagar, which is in the borders of Haryana and Jaipur and Rajasthan. And that's a phenomenal city, and the per capita expenditure and everything is very high as compared to Jaipur as well.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about it.
Punjab, I mean, like, speaking of different cities, Punjab, like, as a state, is like the wealthiest state there is.
It is.
Chennai has the maximum amount of, like, gold reserves, gold shops, like, they have seen. It's crazy.
Yeah. But even smaller cities like Ganganagar as compared to Jaipur in terms of size, forget about Bombay, but as compared to Jaipur, it's 1/5 the size of Jaipur.
I've never heard of it.
There we go. But it's one of the cash-rich cities out there. And I mean, when I was working with my father out there, I mean, my father has been in the footwear industry since 25 years. So my father started in 1996 with the distribution for this brand called Woodland. We know Woodland.
Of course.
Woodland has been a homegrown brand. It's our version of Timberland.
Yeah.
And it still does well. He started with the distribution for Woodland. Then in 1998, he took up the distribution for Adidas. He was one of the first partners for Adidas in India.
Way back then.
Way back in 98.
Wow.
So he's been in the footwear industry since more than 25 years now. And I joined my father's business after completing my graduation and post-grad and working in a design agency in 2016. And for the first 2 years after joining my dad's business, I was understanding his business first before I even thought about Superkicks. So at that point in time, I used to visit all of these small towns, and I used to go there to get some orders for certain brands that we used to keep at that point in time. So I used to go to the mom and pop store versions of footwear stores in those smaller cities. And when I first time went to Ganganagar, I don't know why we talk about Ganganagar. Okay.
But like, I'm fascinated by the fact that there's a cash-rich city which I have no idea about.
Yeah,
and
so when I went to Ganganagar, I was like, Ganganagar? I mean, what can you expect from Ganganagar? But, and that's another, you're coming from a point of privilege also, which is not too cool.
Yeah.
But at that point in time also, I was naive, and it just opened my eyes when I went to Ganganagar. It was crazy. I mean, there are bigger, better brands there than Jaipur. I think there was a Tommy then in Ganganagar, and then it came to Jaipur. I think so. I don't quote me on that.
It's fascinating, right?
But it's crazy. And people, and I remember when I used to go to smaller towns like Bhilwara and Ajmer and all of these cities, people used to give me less orders. Okay, give me 20 more pairs of Woodland and I'm good with it. When I used to go to Ganganagar, they give me 100, 150 pairs of orders of refill. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. Ganganagar guys, they don't care. They want more shoes.
So I have like a very interesting question, okay? And I think I would really want to, and everybody would want to know, why haven't you opened up a shop in Ganganagar?
Yes, that's a very good question, my friend. No, But yeah, I mean, I really want to open up a store in my hometown or in home state.
Yeah.
It could end up being Jaipur because there's control. We know that city really well. I mean, I always had this dream. The last store that I opened in India, and I'm not going to, of course, open a lot of stores. It's that kind of a store where you don't need to open.
But
a
why?
lot of stores. Because then the charm goes away.
So
Think
it
about
becomes
it.
more accessible.
Like when I opened the Mumbai store up, I constantly I didn't start my website along with the store. I started my website 1 year after the first Mumbai store that I opened up. For 1 year, if you want to buy these kind of shoes, the only thing you can do with respect to Superkicks at least is you have to travel to the Mumbai store and pick it up.
So it's Instagram and the store at that particular time.
Yeah, Instagram also, we're not taking orders via Instagram. You have to come to the store.
Okay.
So there's a charm behind finding those kicks.
Got it.
And it takes you back to the old retro days. I used to do that whenever I used to go abroad with my father and my parents. I used to plan and map out, okay, these are the different stores in the city that I have to go and hunt for that particular shoe. It just goes back to the nostalgic days when things were simpler.
Yeah, even for me, because I stay in suburbs, and when I was like very young, like 14, 15, whenever I used to come to this part of town, I would always like just see that, oh, there is that store. That is that store. Now I can actually relate. Oh, so I've heard about this a lot, about like people talking about this, either here and there or whatever. But now I can actually see that. So now I can relate to it.
Correct.
So that basically
exactly.
Like,
so that's why I feel in India. I mean, there's no number to it, and I'm not saying that okay, I'll just open 7 stores or 8 stores, 9 stores. I don't know. I'm going with the flow right now, and I think if in 4 years opening up 4 stores is a healthy growth.
It's amazing growth.
Yeah, but I know for a fact that I'm not going to open a lot of stores, many stores. So I always had this thing in my mind that probably one of the last stores that I end up opening would be in Jaipur. And it'll be like a Gharana style store. It'll be a big store. It'll be like minimum 3,000, 4,000 square feet space, like a Gharana kind of a style where shoes are there, you come and buy, but that's not the reason why I've opened up 3,000 square feet store in the middle of Jaipur. It's more to just chill with people, have events there, have exclusive events there. Maybe people from Delhi travel to Jaipur via road because it's a road almost 4 hours distance. People actually plan to go to Jaipur to attend one of these exclusive events which is happening in Jaipur. So that was always in my mind. Hopefully I end up doing that, but that was always in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, like all the best. But from whatever the kind of trajectory that you are on and the kind of like momentum that you have created, I'm pretty sure that that's a possibility that's going to happen.
Thank you.
For sure. Okay, let's take a small break.
Yeah.
And we'll come back. Stay tuned. This is an interesting conversation. And I'm going to speak about like Superkicks clothing line which has just opened up, and I think it's a pretty interesting way to go about and like creating the community factor. And yeah, we're going to be back in a couple of minutes.
Hello, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcasts Network. On Cyrus Says Cock and Bull, Cyrus, Naveen, Priyanka and Abbas discuss rapper Sidhu Moosewala being shot dead in Punjab. On Edges and Sledges, Ashwin, DJ and Varun review IPL 2022 and discuss how the Gujarat Titans lifted their title in the first year. On Simplified, Tony talks to Nivedita Prakasam on how to make it in stand-up comedy. On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk discuss how trade policies can be harnessed by India to improve its existing ecosystem. And on the Life Manifesto, Zarina shares the benefits of being spontaneous. We've got some exciting news for you. IVM Podcasts has just launched its merch, and our first line is out now. Head to the IVM Podcasts website and click on the shop tab to check out our first collection of t-shirts. Do follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platform you're listening on. And you can also check us out on YouTube. We're also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it out. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week: SBI Life Insurance, Jupiter, a digital banking app, Cap Gemini, get the future you want, Intel V Pro, built for business, and Intel, future banao wonderful. with Intel-powered laptops.
Welcome back to Raw and Organic. We have Sangeet over here. Sangeet, tell us about this new amazing clothing line that you have launched. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I think it's a big step. And you're going with the entire essentials route, right? No, I saw the new T-shirt, by the way, with the CRTX.
Yeah, CDXX.
CDXX.
It's 420 in numericals,
lovely.
Roman numericals.
Nice.
That was a little fun exercise that we did for 20th of April, which is like a global day for 420 celebration.
Yes.
I'm not going to explain that further, but
No, like pretty raw and organic. By the way.
too raw and organic.
Okay.
Quite organic, I must say.
Very organic.
No, so I think the apparel side of things, or the streetwear side of things, started with Core, which was launched in October last year. It was a core collection of joggers and t-shirts and shorts and hoodies and stuff like that in 4 different colors. Interesting colors, I feel, which was one was a brick red dust, one was a grey color, one was black, and the other was a sea green colorway. But the logic behind starting the core collection specifically was to give very premium quality apparel out there with the kind of fit that I believe in personally. And I'm very inspired by the Japanese style and Japanese fashion. So you see a little reminiscence of Japanese.
Okay, just
street
hold
style
you. Which is like your favorite Japanese streetwear brand?
I would say Neighborhood.
Okay.
I think Neighborhood is very, very.
Not that I know about it, but I know Fragment.
Fragment.
Yeah,
There's
Fragment.
Fundamental also, which is very nice.
Even the comedy guys are Japanese, right?
Kind of.
Yeah, like
Kind of.
European Japanese.
Yeah,
maybe.
European Japanese. Correct. But but again, in general, when I talk about Japanese fashion, it's while there are a lot of streetwear brands that come from Japan, which has adopted not only Japanese fashion but taken it and make it a global fashion, where you see them being inspired and borrowing cues from different parts of the world now. But when you see go to Japan and you see their fashion style, the way they dress up. Even if it's a work day, they dress up as if they're there to sort of slay people or something like that. But it's so cool, and that's why what I ended up doing was with the core collection was I wanted to make very comfortable, very premium quality, great fit, basic apparel. Say, for example, if you end up buying that, you will not regret because it will never be out of fashion because it's so basic.
Exactly.
So I didn't want to run behind or jump on the bandwagon of any trend that is happening currently in the streetwear fashion. Play it safe, work more on the premium styling. So the French terry cotton that we developed for our hoodie and for our shorts was actually developed specifically for us in India. It was not something that you will find easily in the market. We developed, it was a 60-day process where we developed that particular French terry cotton. And it's so beautiful that, and India is a hot country.
Yeah.
And wearing hoodie, logically at least,
In Bombay.
is not practical. You don't wear hoodies in Bombay. That doesn't stop people from wearing hoodies because, of course, hoodie looks nice, and especially in the streetwear sense of things. And I knew that. The hoodie that we made with this French terry, trust me, if you wear it right now, in this weather, whatever degrees right now, 38, 39 degrees, if you wear the hoodie, you will not sweat.
Really?
You will not sweat. I can guarantee you that right now. I'll write it down.
Wow.
So it's that breathable.
And how do you come across, because it's so fascinating, right? Because now that I have a fitness brand, okay, the obvious next option would be trying and dabbling into merchandises here and there, because that is the next step, right?
Yeah.
But I have tried it. I have tried to dabble into it, and the only thing which I have found extremely difficult in this entire process is to figure out how do you go about figuring out the kind of quality or for example the print and all these things. For that matter, even your logo for that matter, it's such a simple logo, right? But there are individuals who literally for example, me, who literally like bang their heads just to like figure out what the logo should be.
You're not alone. You're not alone. In fact, we were banging our heads for the longest period of time. We were procrastinating. We were figuring out what to do, where to place the logo, how to do this. We don't. Our team. Our team is like we are about 60 people working, 60, 70 people working for Superkicks right now at any given point in time. We didn't have a dedicated team for merchandise and our own merchandise. So it was, when it started with core, it was just me and one of my colleagues. We were banging our heads against each other and figuring out what to do with this, how to go about it. And thankfully, we found a vendor come friend. He's a good friend of mine also, based out of Bombay. And he is our vendor, our supplier, and the guy who's making the garments for us. Him being my friend, he was very involved into understanding, okay, this is, he was teaching us while we were understanding what to do with
getting
apparel. So that was a big help. Shout out to Rishabh. He's my dude. He's my friend he's from Bombay, and he was brilliant. He was very patient with us, because these people, they don't have patience. Like, what do you want? Tell me. I'll make a
because
sample.
textile industry is crazy, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's very fast paced. So I'll only give you one sample.
Yeah.
This guy made 15 samples for me before I could approve something. So that patience, that level of patience, only a friend could give me in this industry. So thankfully, I had one who helped me out with it.
Because that changes a lot of things, right?
Exactly. So you want that space and that convenience to experiment. Unless you don't experiment with these things, you need to take 2 meter kapda of some fabric and that 2 meter kapda of another fabric and then play with it and everything. Thankfully, now after the first core collection, now we have a dedicated team in-house with bunch of professionals. One is a fashion designer, one is a sourcing guy.
Got it.
Who now helps us figure out the next collection that we are working on much more smoothly.
So and this entire, now it's going to be like a proper an extension of what Superkicks is, because
so there are two kinds of things that we'll end up doing in our own apparel line. One is this core collection.
it's just going to be there.
So there'll be new things that will come in the core collection, but again, the principle will be the same. It's something, the brief is simple. If it can be part of your wardrobe for the next 10 years, then it's core. Otherwise, it's not core.
Perfect. Okay.
If it's not something which is timeless, then it's not core. But then we are also working, like CDXS is not part of core. The 420
that was
collection.
Diesel one.
That was just the capsule collection. We call it hardcore.
Got it. That's a nice way to go about it.
Internally, we call it hardcore. So we have a core collection, then we have a hardcore collection.
And those are like reserved for like certain big days or
big days or something. It's actually not reserved to anything. It's reserved to my team's whims and fancy. I mean, one fine day, one guy gets up and like, hey, I want to make a collection. I have a thought. I'm like, okay, pitch it to me and everything. Let's see how it goes. And then we could, so from any topic in this world to anything that we personally love, we want to put it on certain apparel stuff and put it out there.
Getting it. So this also like gives me an idea of like what kind of a person are you and like what kind of an entrepreneur are you, right? I remember the first time I actually met you was with Omran, and we were at Brewdog.
Yes.
And I might have had a couple of beers, and the first thing which I said was like, you're very inspiring. and he just went like, huh, inspiring? I'm like, yeah, dude. The reason why I said it's so inspiring is because like you are in an industry which is like so unique.
Yeah.
Which is incubating right now. I personally feel like it's super incubating right now.
Yes.
It's going to blow up in the future.
Yeah.
And you have created something in the last 4 years that a lot of people like, or at least people like me, are just like dreaming of. Okay. Because having that amount of following and having that amount of community members and the culture that you're creating, it's inspiring, to be honest.
Thank you.
So as an entrepreneur also, like how do you like go about your day, or how do you go about like having a vision? Because say my inspirations have always been people like, for example, a Steve Jobs or whoever, like the normal inspiring figures in a downward day-to-day basis. But again, like speaking with people, there's a lot of things to learn, right? So how do you go about like having your business sorted out? Because there are so many different avenues that you can play with now that you have the exposure to it.
I'll be honest with you. I am learning on the job, in fact, to be very honest. A lot of things, in fact, people who I hire teach me, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. I'll be very honest with you. When I started Superkicks along with my wife in 2018, it was just the two of us handling everything, practically everything. I remember for the longest period of time when we started the website, this is how clueless we were. You need to hear this out. So we started the website, and then the agency made the website and everything, and me and my wife, we were figuring out, okay, this is how it should look and everything, blah, 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 UI, UX. Okay, wonderful. And then I told, okay, when do we launch this? Then the agency guy said, hold on, you have not clicked pictures for your products. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah. Yeah. Isn't that obvious? And so that's how clueless we were. So I think I've been blessed with, this is very ironical. I've been blessed with being put in certain very tough situations where I need to figure my way out and get on top and make a lot of mistakes till I figure out, okay, this is the right way to go about it. And I've been blessed with such scenarios. And if those scenarios are not thrown in front of you, and if it's very easy for you to move from A to B to C to wherever you're headed, then I don't think you're learning. Then I don't think, then maybe... So there are multiple ways to become a great entrepreneur, and I'm nowhere close to being a great entrepreneur. As I said, I'm learning. I'm still learning, and people who are working with me are teaching me a lot of things. We just recently hired a new HR manager. She's teaching me amazing, great policies, which I had no idea. People were taking advantage of these policies not being there in our company, and they're like, "Hey, these are the policies. What are you doing, Sangeet?" And I'm like, "Ah, shit, I didn't know that." So my father inspires me a lot. Of course, he's taught me a lot of things. My brother, I have an elder brother. He's also part of the business. He's been with my father, working with my father since 12 years now. So he has taught me a lot. But when it comes to Superkicks, because Superkicks was a monster of its own. I mean, it was unlike anything that me and my family were doing at that point in time. So I had to understand on my own. My wife and I, Nisha, we had to understand things on our own, and we had to go as per every new challenge that was coming in front of us. We were understanding, we were developing our own personality accordingly. The 2016 Sangeet was very different from 2018 Sangeet and to 2020 Sangeet, to 2022 Sangeet. So they are very different from each other. 2018 Sangeet, you wouldn't have seen me anywhere because I still believe I'm a little introvert as a person. But I think there is this confidence that I've got with Superkicks in the last 4 years to be out there, talk to people, do a podcast, and that's happened because of Superkicks. So I am learning a lot. Superkicks has taught me a lot. People around me have taught me a lot, and yeah, that's how it is. And my only thing is that as an entrepreneur, make mistakes as much as you can. Please go ahead and make a lot of mistakes, because if you don't make mistakes and if it's very easy, I think you're doing something wrong. As simple as that. There has to be mistakes for you to learn and grow as a person.
Yeah, pretty interesting, because you always have to keep open to learning a lot of new things.
Don't be perfect, basically. Don't try to strive for perfection. I think that's bullshit.
When you were talking about figuring out your way out of a tough situation, have you done engineering by any chance?
No. No.
Because that is what they teach you in the next 6 years.
Interestingly, I wanted to do engineering, or I thought I wanted to do engineering. It was a peer pressure actually. So I was
parents?
Not from parents actually. So I was in a CBSE school in Jaipur, and we have 10th, 11th, 12th, unlike in Mumbai where you have junior college for some reason.
No. They're wow. 10th, 11th, 12th. I did 10th standard and then I did diploma, but whatever. I mean, SSC board.
Yeah.
Yes, that's 11th, 12th.
So 10th, 11th, 12th, not junior, senior college, nothing like that. So 10th in 10th standard, you take a route, either commerce or science. And I took up science with the intention to do engineering.
Later.
Why I took science? Because I did amazingly well in my boards exam in 10th. And there was this pressure from my peers, my friends. Hey, the toppers need to take science, obviously. So I also took science. And in 11th, 12th, that I got 96% in my boards in 10th. 11th, 12th was some 60, 70%. I barely scraped through. And then also I never gave up. I thought, okay, let me try for AIEEE and all of these JEE exams. I think my AIEEE rank was some 5 lakhs. You don't get a rank like that. I think you should stop giving rank after 2-3 lakhs or something like that. It was an abomination. So that's when it hit me that, okay, I'm not meant for engineering. And then I switched to commerce after 12th. And then I joined HR college, which is in Mumbai, and did my BMS from there. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So no engineering. Business management.
Just a very much of an entrepreneur attitude, by the way. Because I think engineering taught me a lot of things
Yeah.
that it has taught you. Because I think it's in the culture of like making sure that you have to get out of tougher situations and figuring your way out.
Yeah, but for me it was Superkicks, because for me I understood that there is a problem. I'm called as a fixer of my company. I don't have a designation as CEO, founder, nothing like that. I'm the fixer. So while there are a lot of people doing a lot of things, and I oversee things. Okay, what is happening and who's doing what kind of thing. I don't go deeper into it. I think more about strategies of the future and everything. But I'm the fixer. If there's a problem from my photography department to my creative department to my marketing, if there's a problem, come to me. Please come to me, because what I've learned in the last 4 years is that I will come up with a solution immediately, because I understand the importance of time. And if you linger on and continue to sit on that problem will, from being a small problem, will become a mammoth problem before it reaches that, and you pay the price for it. Fix that problem immediately. So I'm the fixer here. And I learned that because of Superkicks, because I took my sweet time in the first 2 years to solve problems. It's again, and then I understood, hey, I cannot afford to take that much time. I have to be on my toes and fix them as soon as possible. I have to be proactive. And that's why I changed as a person as well. From being an introvert person to a person who's now comfortable talking out there. From a person, I was a very lazy person. I still love my sleep a lot. But now I know the importance of being active, being out there, being aware of what is happening around you, and having the title of fixer has more pressure than having the title of being the founder or CEO or visionary. Fixer. I'm the fixer. Come to me. I'll fix it. I'll try to fix it at least.
But as a visionary, Mr. Fixer, as a visionary for the brand, what are the new things that are in store? Because right now the world is your oyster, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy potential that the things are happening outside.
Yes.
It's in this entire culture. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So what do you have in mind?
There are two things that me and my team are focusing on right now in Superkicks. Is giving more access to more brands and more products to our consumers. Now that means that more brands need to be added to our roster. More kind of products need to be added to the roster, which we are doing. We are consciously bringing international streetwear brands to India, which are not there in India currently present. So we have officially signed 4 or 5 different brands. I will reveal it soon what those brands are, but they are very cool brands. Some of them are from UK, some of them are from Japan, some are sunglasses brands, some are streetwear brands. Very cool brands coming to our roster.
Are you getting Aquila by any chance? The sunglasses brand?
I can neither confirm or deny. Something similar, a brand which is very similar to Aquila.
Okay.
And we're getting more brands. We want to get more brands, and we are working towards that. So and some new footwear brands as well. We're getting some footwear brands as well, and that's also very interesting and exciting. That's one thing that we wanted to do. The other thing that's part of this year's aim is to make our in-store experience better. And in order to do that, we have taken our first step already. The Delhi store, which is currently an 800 square feet space in a mall in Sangeet, we are relocating that store to a much, much bigger space. It's about close to 2,500 square feet, which is, I think, the biggest sneaker store yet in India.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So we are planning to open that soon, and I think it's not too far away from where it's currently is. It's in South Delhi itself. And
is it going to be in a mall?
No, high street. It's a high street. That's the other thing that I sort of understood. You can express yourself much, much better when you have control of the space, and you have much control of the space if you're in a high street and not in a mall.
So you can host parties a lot.
Oh, yes. And with the bigger space, you can host really good parties.
Really good.
Now, Mumbai store, unfortunately, is very small, very tiny. And that's one thing that I regret. That
But Bombay people are used to it. Just call us.
That's true. That's true. They
Just call
understand.
us.
Theek hai, chalega. But we in Mumbai, we end up doing a lot of parties in other spaces. Like we did the Vans Checkerboard Day event in Car Social to the Air Max Day event that we did in the Daily.
I think that's the best part, right? Like we collaborate a lot.
Yeah,
more.
that's a good vibe. So we wanted to give a better experience with our stores, which we are doing with this Delhi store. And I think we are in the middle of confirming one more news, but there is one more location that may end up happening before this year ends.
It's Gangapur, guys. It's
Ganganagar.
Ganganagar. It's Ganganagar.
Maybe.
Ganganagar is happening.
Maybe.
Okay. Congratulations, man, and all the best for every single thing that you're going to be doing in the future.
Thank you so much.
This is going to be like an immense change in terms of like culture and education, to be honest.
Thank you.
I really hope that people start expressing themselves a lot more in terms of like what they truly are, not go for hype as much as, because the kind of brands that you're going to bring in, say for example Lati also that you had, or you have right now, I think it's one of its kind, and by the same time it's such a unique design, but I don't think so it has that kind of a want as much as say any other brands would have.
True.
But again, like it's not because the quality is bad. It's not because of it's not in the hype nature for it. But I really hope that you bring about that change. It's
Thank you. And this is why I mean my thought process is very simple. As we discussed, you could for you to look good, to look better is important, and to be fit also. That's where you come in. It's important to gain that confidence. Your physical attire, your body, how you feel with your body, they are very, very important for the most important thing to be sane, which is your mental health. They are both connected. If you're underconfident in life and if you're always second guessing yourself, it just takes a toll mentally.
Yeah.
And it's very unfortunate. I've seen people around, very close people around me dealing with mental problems. And they all stem from this one thought, which they don't feel they're confident and people are not listening to them, or people they don't think they have a voice. Very small part of it that can mend it, very small, but still it's there, is how you dress up, how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
It's a very small part. Nonetheless, it's a part. And that's where a brand like Superkicks comes in. Like, hey, we are here to give cool sneakers, but don't go behind the bandwagon of hype. See what you like and what suits your personality. The other day, Umran and I were going back from Bombay to Bangalore. This is a small story, but we in the airport, I was seeing everyone wearing Yeezys. Everyone wearing Yeezys. Umran was wearing an Air Max one, regular red curry Air Max one, and I was wearing a Superstar. Right? Trust me. And this is where you were right. There's a switch. There's a switch of saturation. That saturation is there. The Yeezys and Jordans are so common in airport that people were staring at us wearing regular stuff.
That's the best part. I mean, like, yes.
Yeah. You wear those baggy pants. Go home. If you have baggy pants, wear. And if you have a Superstar or an Air Force One or a Cortez, wear your baggy pants with these shoes. Very basic shoes. Oh my God, you will look amazing.
Yeah.
Trust me, you will look amazing. You will forget the Jordans. No disrespect to Jordans. They are amazing.
They're amazing.
They are where they are because of the rich heritage and everything. But then it's not an appeal or it's not nothing. It's just go by your personal gut. That's all.
And it's also like, because I was into Jordans, then I realized that, okay, I'm not too tall.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I saw myself in a full length mirror. I'm like,
I'm 5'7" and a half. I or 5'8" or something like that. If I wear Jordans, I'm like, I look like a fool.
Yeah, and then I realized that, okay, you know what? I actually should be dressing according to my height and stature, and I should be looking a bit more better. Of course, like, shoes are a part of my personality, but they are not my personality.
Yeah.
And it's going to accentuate whatever I'm going to wear.
Exactly.
And I would rather look comfortable and look decent rather than like just like being or trying to be a part of somebody because I just want to host a conversation because of my shoes.
Yes.
And that is where the education and the exposure comes in.
Yes.
And like I really hope that this entire podcast really changes people's mind in terms of like getting better shoes. Hello Kitties are out there.
Yes, Hello Kitties are out there. Please contact us or DM us on Instagram.
By the time this gets released, I'm pretty sure that it's going to go like I might just get these because they're like beautiful.
Oh, you definitely should. I think the color is very, very nice. We started off this podcast with Hello Kitty and we're ending it with is Hello Kitty paying us?
I wish they would. With that said, that is Sangeet. Sangeet, this was supposed to be a 35 minute conversation. Now it's exactly 58 minutes, 15 seconds. But it was a lovely conversation.
Same here.
All the best.
Thank you. And to you too.
Hopefully we collaborate in future.
Hopefully, no, we should. We should. We definitely should. Our offices are not too far away from each other.
Lovely. So. I am looking forward to it because I think fitness, as you said, and streetwear culture, there isn't. Yes, there should be a bridge between that.
There is.
And we should
identify that. Don't worry.
Cool. There's exciting times ahead.
Yes.
Okay, that was the first episode of, I don't know which episode this is, but this is one of the episodes of this second season. Look at these guys enjoying it. Okay, no, this is not the first episode. It's one of the episodes of some season.
Yeah, some season.
But it was one of my favorite episodes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect. See you. And I hope you enjoyed as much as we did.
Of course. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And thank you so much.
Where do we reach out to you and like everything, the last call out thing that we end up doing? So if anybody wants to reach out to Superkicks, of course, they can just go to the Instagram page. Or if they want to reach out to Mr. Sangeet,
yes.
How do they reach out to you?
I'm not going to give my phone number. So, but no, you can reach out to me on Instagram itself. I'm very active on Instagram. Sangeet.Paryani is my Instagram handle. It's my IG handle. And probably you will see the description being Fixer at Superkicks India. So that's me. And you can reach out to me anytime. I don't know whether I'll be able to help you or not. Don't come asking for sneakers. No, please don't.
Raffles don't work like that.
Yeah, raffles don't work like that. I don't even see raffles anymore. But yes, reach out to me if you have any questions, if you have any queries, if you're a budding entrepreneur, maybe, I don't know, maybe I could help, maybe not, I don't know.
Lovely. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
See you in the next episode. Bye.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of like maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy? If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.